Hi, it's Jodi. Today I want to tell you all about the Blended Seasons stamp set and the Stitched Seasons framelits. You can also get them as a bundle and save 10%. So what I want to do is just show you the different products. I've got a lot of samples, and then I want to share some coloring techniques with you. So this is the stamp set. It's 12 stamps, and so it comes in 2 boxes. You can see that there are a lot of different types of images. You've got flowers, some fall images, Christmas, and then a variety of greetings as well. So some nice stamps here. You can get them wood block or clear block. They're all the rubber stamps, not photopolymer, so these are rubber. And then the Stitched Seasons, let me pull this in, Stitched Seasons framelits. There are these 3 pieces. So these are all different sized frames that you could layer together. I'll show you a card where I used all 3. And then what you notice is that, hopefully you can see this clearly, there is, try to focus a little better, there we go. There's a stitched line, the line that cuts, and another stitched line. So both the outside and inside will have a stitched line. And that's unique. We don't have any other ones like that. We've got some stitched shapes, but not where it does the inside and outside. And then there's also these thinlits. I just had one of the leaves cut out just to show you. So some good variety in there, like I said. The other thing that's new that I don't want to forget to mention is a new assortment of watercolor pencils, and these show you the different colors that are available. And all of these products that I've shown you, so the new watercolor pencils, the Blended Seasons and Stitched Seasons, the stamp set, and framelits, these are available only this month, August 2018, and only while supplies last. So this is where you can go to order them if you would like to, stampwithjodi.com. And this is the host code for this month. I'll put it in the description of this video as well. But I'll tell you in a little bit what happens for you when you use that host code. So let's get into some of the samples here. This is one that I did that I colored in with some of the watercolor pencils and then just blended them with a blender pen. I've got the stitch, you can see the stitch line on here, and then I cut a leaf out with those thinlits. This is another, not a completed project, but I just stamped the leaves and I colored with the Stampin Blends, the alcohol markers. So just kind of a comparison in the way it looks when you use watercolor pencils versus blends. Here's another one that I got as a swap. This was from Julie Davison. I got it in Alaska on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip. So this is kind of cool because she just used the image in the background here and then the greeting over it. So typically I look at this and I always think of ways to color in the flowers, but this is a great way to use it in the background as well and not make it the focal point. This is the one I was talking about. Let me take it out of the plastic. That I used all 3 of those layers, and so you can see each, the cherry cobbler, the gold foil, and the white all have the stitched framelit on there. And then this I colored with watercolor pencils and blended with the blender pen. This one is also a swap, and this one did not have a name on it, but I just wanted to share it with you for another idea. This one shows you a great example of how you get the stitch line on the inside and on the outside. So 2 different sizes of these were used, and so that's how you see the inside and the outside stitched line. This is one that I did that I embossed the image with white embossing powder, and then I colored over the crumb cake cardstock with some watercolor pencils, and this one I blended with an aqua painter, so it gives it a little bit more of a washed out look. But I liked the just the different look that it has on the crumb cake cardstock. It's very different. These 2 I'll pull in as a comparison. This one was colored with watercolor pencils. This one with Stampin' Blends. Again, you see the shape around here. So on both of these, I raised up the frame So this is stamped and colored on underneath, and then this, you can see here, has dimensionals under and is raised up. This one I used a little glimmer enamel dot, and this one is a rhinestone on here. And then on this one I also stamped with some Versamark ink around the edges of the frame. So just a little bit of differences between the two. And then the last one I wanted to show you is this right here. And this I colored with watercolor pencils, doing a variety of techniques. I'm going to show you some of those today. And I just brought this along too to show you. So when I crank this through the Big Shot with the framelit here, this is what comes out. So this piece comes out. I'm left with the stitched frame here, but then I've got this ready to go on another project as a layer, and it's got that nice stitching on it. So these are really nice framelits. I'm a little bit sad that they're only around this month, but just make sure you get your hands on them and place your order while supplies last. So do it sooner rather than later if you're thinking about these. And of course you can use those framelits on absolutely anything. You don't have to just use it with this set. So what I want to do is pull in some Stampin' Blends and some watercolor pencils and just do a little bit of coloring for you and show you some different techniques. So let me pull this card back in here. I did a few different things on here, and I did a blog post recently explaining all that. So if you want to check that out and see step by step what I did on this card, you can go to stampwithjodi.com and look for this blog post. On this one, I colored Melon Mambo down here close to the flower, and then the lighter Flirty Flamingo I colored around the edges more. This one I colored Flirty Flamingo and then just went over the lines with Melon Mambo after. This one I did before. So let me explain a little bit what I mean by that. So this is my lighter. This is Flirty Flamingo. So I'm just going to color in this area. And it's not like coloring in a coloring book where you have to go, you know, to the very edge, because when I pull in my aqua painter and blend it, it's going to take it to the edge for me. And then I'm going to just go over these lines a little bit with the Melon Mambo just to get a variety of color. So my aqua painter, I usually just squeeze it on my hand to see that the water's coming. And then I just push it out to the edges a little bit here. And it's actually okay to have a little bit of white space too. You don't have to feel like every single thing has to be colored. And then when I go over this area, you'll see that darker color gets pulled in. If I feel like it's getting too dark, I can just go off on my scrap paper there a little bit, and I can just direct the color a little bit with this aqua painter. The nice thing too is that you can always go back and add more color. So after that dries, if I feel like it needs more color, I can go back and do that. This isn't going to be necessarily a finished project. I just want to show you some different things here. So if I color dark in here and then kind of fade it out with some Flirty Flamingo and do the same thing here, just pull that color and push it out to the edges. This, I can pull it up so to make sure you can see it. The cardstock that I'm stamping and coloring on is shimmery white. I'm not sure if you can see that shimmer. I'm not seeing it too much when I look, but maybe as I watch the replay of this, it'll show up better. There's a little bit of shimmer on the cardstock, which makes it really pretty. Okay, so to clean my aqua painter, just swish it around like that. I just want to step in and show you one with the blends. So this is Highland Heather. This is the dark Stampin' Blend, the alcohol marker. And I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of go down here at the bottom with the darker color. And then I'm going to come back in with the lighter shade of Highland Heather and pull that away from it. When I use the blends, I always try to stay inside the stamped line because they'll kind of like bleed a little bit, and so that way I don't go outside the lines. We do have a colored lifter, which helps if you accidentally go outside the lines a little bit, but I've just found that that helps if I just go like up to the line. And I can just go over this area and blend out any darker spots. I can also come in here. So on that one, I did the dark first and then went over it with the light. You can also color light first and then come back in with the dark like that. You can leave it like that. Let me pull this card back in. Oops, wrong one. This here, you know, this one I kind of left some darker, more defined lines in the petals. So you can leave it like that, or you can go back and blend it out, whatever you want to do. You can always go back, just like with the watercolor pencils, you can always go back and add more and make things more pronounced or defined. So there's the difference. Hopefully you can tell, you know, just the difference between the alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends, and the watercolor pencils. So just a different look there, but they're both really pretty. Real quickly, this is the Granny Apple Green, the light shade. Let me do down here. So I'm just gonna color in this leaf. And the one thing too with Stampin' Blends, you don't wanna do like a huge area all at once. So like I don't wanna go through and do all of the leaves. I just wanna focus on one because the Stampin' Blends blend better when the ink is wet. And so if I want these colors to blend together well, I want to make sure I do it while it's wet, not when it's had a chance to dry too much. And then I can go back in if I want to and just kind of blend out some of those lines a little bit. And that's how I got the variety of color on this card here. Just going over it a little bit more. With the watercolor pencils, we've got Granny Apple Green. When I did this cardstock here is Lemon Lime Twist, and we don't have that particular color in a watercolor pencil. So what I did was colored here with the Granny Apple Green, which is one of the new watercolor pencils. And then before I blended, I just took Daffodil Delight and went over it a little bit. And then when I came back with the Aqua Painter, it blended that together and gave it a little more of a yellow undertone, which is more like the Lemon Lime Twist. So I can just blend that out. And again, could go back and add more color and definition if I wanted to. So again, this is just kind of a hodgepodge of showing you different techniques and the differences between the blends and the watercolor pencils. But hopefully all these other cards that I pulled in gave you some good ideas of some completed projects. And if you go to Pinterest, oh my goodness, if you type in blended seasons, Stampin' Up, you are going to find so many ideas. There's tons of ideas out there. So let me pull this back in. And just remind you, if you would like to order this bundle or individually the stamp set, individually the framelits, the watercolor pencils, any of these products that you want to order, you need to do by the end of the month for sure, with the understanding that as while supplies last. So it might not be available at the very end of the month. Now, if you order online through my website and you use this code right here, you are going to get a $5 voucher in the mail from me in a card for every $50 of product that you order. So you're going to get that $5 voucher. You can save them up. You can redeem them whenever you would like to get some free product from me. Also, right now, Stampin' Up! Is having what they call bonus days, and they are actually offering the same thing. It's a $5 coupon code with a $50 order. So, for example, if you ordered this stamp set in the wood mount, it's $53. You would get a $5 voucher from me in the mail, and you would get an email with a $5 coupon code from Stampin' Up! So that would be $10 in free product to use when you order just the wood mount stamp set. So there's a lot of great incentive there right now to get that order in. And be sure to check out, like I said, just all the ideas that are out there for blended seasons. You will not run out of ideas for these products. Also, if you don't currently work with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like our current catalogs, please be sure to contact me. I would love to send you our most recent catalogs. Thanks so much for watching.